Media.
Popo.
When you're but me watch me light one. You statistics get to every time you see
and the Hollywood war. Cha-cha. Cha-cha. Yeah. Chelsea amani. Cha-cha. Cha-cha. And Pone goes to Sia. Na sure Germany.
Easier.
Etuo to say pow. Germany kronim.
Oh, Bayern to me share 6.
More.
To me share 6. It's possible. Yeah.
Champions League name more that's ano.
My team will go to Filipao and I will look.
Me.
We alone play.
Some will be any some Bayern. From one in some to Bayern Munich. Obi any opa ko Richardo TVCC e ko am Jesse.
Ah no
Jesse Shame. Obi any wonu me support to Bayern.
Do you Bayern?
Me Bayern.
Okay, that's it.
Until a night that like this no. E be crown no the goals.
Allianz Arena.
Cha-cha.
Cha-cha.
Kofi. Kanena na Ghanaian movie jina so pa. Movie producer be near friend Danfo BA. Okay no.
Okay pa.
Your movie be brain and movies is so fair.
Part 1, part 2 and 3.
Part mutimi ya part 12. Be my friend catch say ja, the oil ni ja. Part 12 for the door so no. Na Danfo BA Jamin fan cleanse papa no free mu.
Okay.
We free my around bear 20 year baby.
Yeah.
O free mu no. O ze nipa de oye adwuma pa o legacy.
Yeah, of course.
So na ne ka.
Yeah.
Enti na busuafo se omo mma adwuma papa oye no.
Okay.
Enhye kwa.
Yeah.
Enti omo yi movie bi. Adwumre ya na ye premier wo Richardo TV.
Okay.
Chelsea amanim hu part 1, 2 and 3.
Part 1, 2 and 3.
Na obi an ko pe movie ni bi hwe.
Okay.
Ene ewurade nyame. What a match.
You will do match on cover.
Sure.
If you are the IFC in then we'll see how the game will pan out. But Rich, anyway, you can say the storylines of the Champions League in the way we are there.
Sure.
And the stories played out. Nice, interesting stories. Even from yesterday. Rich, when I saw some Benfica phone were leading 2-0 in the opening half, no, I'm so we take it. See you moving on. Yeah, people now later. You know, say Union Sing, and only Rich. Union Sing, not Union Singers, Carabao for no. They coming to Benfica last weekend. Benfica for more in the Portuguese league, you know. Almost considered last minute goal. And when Omantian Fasa win, a senko for the then he came back to this. I was disappointed. At halftime, the results at halftime were very interesting. What is a Juve match? No, 0-0 at halftime. And we had 8 goals in the second half. Then Madrid were 1-1 in that game at halftime, ended up winning 2-1 via dubious penalty. And of course, Tottenham must be winning 1-0 from an own goal. Saying Okano. The reports largely from Portugal, and he said Bruno Lage will take leave of team and friend Benfica. And 1 year back, Jose Mourinho.
The second coming.
Rich, can Jose do the job? And I'm pay memories big again.
And Uncle V, the amount of football stories sometimes ABB on say at this same Benfica they deny.
Exactly, Jose, the friend about the team from going to the Champions League.
Now, why not say the same team Jose Mourinho also deny Jose Mourinho will come back and take that team.
That's all I was about to say. He said the coach that beat Jose Mourinho and prevented him from playing the Champions League, who will be replacing Jose with him? I mean, regardless of all of that, Jose was some huge legacy in the game. And see, so much that it will buy him an entry to almost any job in the world. And it looks as if Jose, after 25 years, when he started the journey, our team and friend Benfica, Portugal, he makes the return back to the stadium of Stade El Horn, and we'll see how things are going to go from the rich. And we are Qarabağ forming a good win away from him. We told him that Arsenal will do the job. It means that Arsenal team with a lot of injuries. But then again, they went into the game and they got a job done because of the quality in depth of Mkhitaryan. Which I know Gabriel Mosquera.
Yeah. Akwano Nubo.
Ah, centre back.
Also, Oma Sanafon and Fit.
No, you won't miss him.
Fit Saliba.
Centre back. And he has played in the Spanish La Liga. Yes, calm. It's a Valencia ball. He's good.
The guy is good.
Like I'm shocked. Say all of the top teams the way we are seeing, including Miami, Chelsea, sat down for Arsenal to take the boy less than 30 million. You know, for Brent FM Mosquera Babeshe team in him. Rich Arsenal made use of almost squad depth in 2 substitutes and a Babeshe goal. First one, it was a Brent FM of Gabriel Martinelli. Inka, you see. About your friend a better chance actually position in 7. Then he comes off the bench, goes direct, just a few minutes, goes very direct and gets Arsenal the first goal in a game that they were struggling to score. And I like the fact that Rich, throughout the game, Arsenal wanted to make the game very, very physical. You can tell from how they were placed, they wanted to make it physical. And of course, Mikel Arteta, a boy that was born in San Sebastian, went back to Bucks region to go and deliver a huge blow to Team FN Athletic Club de Bilbao. And 2 of them, the second one, Brent FN Leandro Trossard. Rich and Athletic Club for no try BBR. They were good. Boy was not bad. Especially on the press, on the counter press. But Rich, see, this time, they can't say that all. Arsenal will beat 98% of the teams in the Champions League.
98?
Yes. Rich, Nasani Bieka. Arsenal don't have to play too nice football. Teams say they are betting Castle Catalonia, or betting Arsenal, or betting a physical dwelling game. Assigning down Barcelona, and Liverpool. Which last season, let us not forget that Arsenal against Spanish sides, 5 out of 5, they're beating them. They beat the almighty Real Madrid back-to-back last season. Last season, Champions League near more, you know. The only 2 teams Arsenal could not beat ended up in the final. Of course, team for Michigan, Paris Saint-Germain, any Inter Milan. So what I saw over there was Arsenal trying to force the issue, and then let's remind everybody, say, you're very, very good in that regard, and they'll get a job. And now Arsenal for a job. And of course, what it means is that no team has more points in the UCL than Arsenal since it began there. Arsenal reach at the Santiago Bernabeu. Madrid were playing against Roberto Di Zerbi's Marseille. Did you expect the game to be like how we did, especially at the beginning?
No. I said, no, I'm a Kaza, I like one Nekase. I said, a man for whom Marseille team so no lie. Because I'm Marseille.
Yeah, no more Marseille.
Yeah.
I don't want you coaching.
And Misha game na Yala wants on the same team. The Marseille team. Yeah. They are very good. Unless
you don't follow the French Liga or Roberto Di Zerbi.
Kondobia. This guy.
PMA, Roy Biag is in the team. Mason Greenwood, Timothy Weah.
I don't say, maybe I'm not. It's Mason Greenwood. I could have win a dream, maybe Manchester for me and fun upon in channel. Now, Brand team of Bobo. Yes, it that. And then my Brand team called Mason. Oh, Mason Greenwood.
Yeah.
Boy, no bomb.
Yeah.
He plays so well.
But when you say, yesterday, my respect for Xabi Alonso went up a notch higher, and I'll tell you why. Roberto Di Zerbi is an attacking manager, and in fact, only some pure football tacticals needing to come about why Roberto Di Zerbi plays like that. Which Roberto Di Zerbi in the first phase of build-up, ultimately committed 8 players. Park national outfield players of bare 10. He can commit as many as 8 in build-up. I love what Madrid did. And now, Madrid follow waiting to the game to go and press. See my friend of Marseille, man for man aggressive. I think that's what made a difference. Richard Man Madrid and press here. They would have lost the game in the opening half of the minutes. But they were very aggressive in their press. In fact, in the first half, Madrid forcing 14 turnovers. The highest they've ever had since about 5-6 years now. So almost 40 turnovers. It was the best one for them. In fact, all of us thought Madrid were going to score the first goal until Saab Moana Kokodi Abranche friend Under Gulensa. Then of course Mason Greenwood carried it forward, laid it on to Abranche friend Timothy Weah, and then the first goal came from Team Fred Marseille. We mentioned that Kylian Mbappe in the past 3 seasons, he started Champions League in Kwani and Mbappe will come in. Which, what I had forgotten was that if Mbappe had scored 2 goals, now could be nearly 50 goals. And then now he hits that landmark. in 62 or 64 games for Real Madrid. Kylian Mbappe has 50 goals. Which
incredible.
That is very, very good performance. 2 of them penalties, Rich. I had a problem with the second penalty. Any penalty.
Second one indeed.
Any penalty. Mr. Real Madrid near. I can understand if you are not happy that I'm saying this, but I know it's not a penalty. I think that, the argument is about the unnatural nature of play and the body. But play at top form, this is exactly how the body is going to be. He has to put a certain inside top form, somebody supporting the body. It's a Madrid won in there. What it means is that, Rich, in the opening 5 games for Abrantia, your friend Xabi Alonso for Real Madrid, all of them, it's perfect. And they've gotten the job done. And now, Timothy, we are the son of Abrantia, your friend George Oponwia. Ne papa in 1994 go in the Cup Winners' Cup against Real Madrid, and of course years on Abrante's friend Timothy, who is the son of the former president, and of course the first African to go onto the podium for the world best player, and of course also got a job done. Rich Juve Bvb Super Bowl draw. Who is the first half? Not Juve Bvb to 2 strikers on Kotom this summer. Roy Kopenda, any Abrante, your friend Jonathan David. None of them could give them the goal. When they needed help, a striker now no more cash over person no tall. And about second and both 2 goals the mom.
Obazi has shown a drew. Vlahovic. Serious. Then no don't want for them no here.
What do you mean here, Rich?
What's your 4-2?
Yeah. 92nd minute.
Any game.
A movie on.
A movie on.
Mati.
Not one for me.
Me I mean here crown say grass when your penalty now they am bensa buying.
Any games no.
Any matches so.
Any games.
2 of them are very big. But one is the biggest.
Sure.
Which is Bayern hosting Chelsea at the Allianz Arena. Which means in the history of the Champions League, 2 teams are Chelsea enemy ball brepa. Bayern count. Bayern in Barcelona. Chelsea have lost more times to Bayern. Only Barcelona and Chelsea have lost more to them than Bayern for them. And those are the 2 highest teams that Chelsea are losing to them a lot of Champions League game. In the last 5 times that Chelsea have made them, Bayern for them losing back up. In fact, Saudi game won't come out. Everybody's mind goes to 2012. But maybe because it was a historic moment for Chelsea Football Club and what they represented, because in the history of Chelsea, that was the first ever Champions League. And how it happened, they were not players almost at the twilight of their career. Do you remember the story of Didier Drogba? Okay, say, Lampard, John Terry, all of them, they were getting to the end of their careers. Then they brought in the smaller boys at the time, Ryan Bertrand, Abrantia Ferro, Juan Mata. Didier Drogba said before the game started, he went to Abrantia Ferro, Juan Mata, and told Juan, said, Juan, I'm Champions League. Then one said, senior man, how do I help you go back to win the Champions League? It was Abrantia Ferro, 1 month and a ball, so free corner kick, Emma Drogba didn't tip him share for the ball to be 1-1 to go to extra time, and then of course in penalties. That is the thing. Which historically, Bayern have a huge advantage. When we play in the group stage or league phase of the Champions League, Bayern don't lose. In fact, in the last about 15 games in Champions League at home at the Allianz Arena, Bayern have lost just once. And last season, it was to Internazionale Milan. 2, Rich, so only Bayern for only bonus a match they won. They know how to play it at home. Now, Bayern are unbeaten in their last 34 home group stage league games or in the league phase.
That is super.
Yeah, it's good.
So we share the first Champions League the format now near Bono.
Yeah.
And the new format is there no year the league phase now.
Yeah.
Almost game.
No, in 34 games.
34 games.
Yeah. 34. Charting at all.
I would have done me.
But Maresca, I don't know what type of chart at 2. No, I say chart. I will feel that. Don't be too quick. Because I've been telling you, people will become believers of Enzo. More and more doubting Thomas. You will believe Enzo Maresca when we are done. Inti, we want to was here. Rich, Bayern for only ball. And I've seen lineups from Bill, Keka, and the likes. Some of them I agree, some of them I disagree. Maybe lineups not sure. I'll tell you what I think Chelsea will line up in my analysis. Then quickly, and we'll finish everything else on them. Which only say in 2012. I brought Chelsea edges at Champions League final. No? The only player in the current Bayern team, goalkeeper Manon, he was in the post. And he's still there. Years on, or that's what on him. On the team, no, over the weekend, on ball with Konrad Laimer, Dario Upamecano, Jonathan Tah, and Stanisic as the back four. They had a bunch of friend Kimmich, Serge Gnabry, and a bunch of friend Pavlovic rather as the DM with a bunch of friend Kimmich, Michael Olise, Harry Kane, and a bunch of friend Luis Diaz. This starting lineup, I think that is what starts our Bayern. It's Yanko tactical board, not so quickly. In a regular 4-3-3, Bayern in the red, then Chelsea is going to be in the blue now. So Bayern are going to be in their regular 4-3-3, and then of course Chelsea are also going to be in your own shape. Now who said Uko Germany? Most of the outlets say Chelsea will start with Sanchez, Chalobah, Adara Biayo, James, Kukurea, Caicedo, Palmer, Fernandez, Neto, Joao Pedro, and Giddens. I think this lineup will change.
Giddens in the amount.
I think that this lineup will change. So this is what I think will happen. Chelsea remember the same starting lineup that they played against Paris Saint-Germain. Remember a back four of Chalobah. The only difference is going to be tossing. Remember Chalobah, any advantage for tossing. Remember Reece James as right back. Then we have Kukurea. But as the number 7, and I'll tell you why. Remember advantage for Malo Gusto in that area. Then play Enzo Fernandez, Moise Caicedo, any advantage for Cole Palmer as the midfield 3. Then on the left hand side, Rich, or the advantage for Pedro Neto. But I'll tell you again why you play Pedro Neto rather on the left and have advantage for Joao Pedro. It's only say Bayern for the pressure. Over 5 games since the beginning of the season in all competitions, no match now. And then you only 3-2 because they are buying for you and say they press and counter press you well. The thing is that with all of this, it looks as if there are opportunities for Chelsea. And looking at Chelsea for you a little bit confidence now. If you pick a Bayern back line of Tah and then Upamecano, and then Stanisic, and then add a bunch of friend Konrad Laimer in this area, it's a back line that Cole Palmer will lick his lips to. It's a back line that Joao Pedro show back line we are. He can do something against them. So Uban Fiifi you want him. Not by a midfield, no, me I'm a small boy, a bunch of friend Alexander Pavlovic. Then you add Serge Gnabry and add Joshua Kimmich, and midfield of Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, and an inverted Reece James in the middle of the park. We look at it and say, okay, let's see how it goes. And then because Trevor Chalobah now becomes the right centre back, Tosin becomes the CCB, and a bunch of friend of Marc Kukurea becomes the left centre back in that area. Now Chelsea will invert its risk to try and dominate the centre of the park, and then the catcher say Pedro Neto will move to the left. Now Jumani is simple. Michael Olise, any advantage friend Konrad Laimer will come here. Against Paris Saint-Germain, Pedro Neto had a job to track the constant runs of the wingers in this area. So Pedro Neto will be playing as a second defender in this area. So almost as an attacker. Chelsea's outlet is going to be in this zone to the part of Cole Palmer and overload it just like see my friend of Paris Saint-Germain gave now on. I know there's some companies who have shared Chelsea matches 40-0. Now, according to Max Edel, how many Nicolas Jackson's were the and Jackson a check and Newman gets in Kitty. Now, Yema the enemy is a rich. I'm going to pretty much press conference. I'm going to catch Enzo Maresca say, how much to say Nicolas Jackson the leaky some information in Biama Bayern boys no. Enzo Maresca says, we will see. Maresca say, we will see on the field of play. If truly, Nicolas Jackson has leaked information to Bayern for no, but for him, he's taking it game after game. Which game, no, it is going to be won in that area. Bayern for no press and their OOP shape versus what Chelsea will do with the players in the positional zones. Which match is here? Can you say goals, baby, more now? It's a goal zone. Yeah, it's a goal zone. See, at least Oko Fikesiemu, they are invested there. The first thing you should know is that there will be goals in this game. I think that there are going to be goals. Liverpool, let's not feel about against Atletico de Madrid. I think Liverpool win. I think Atletico for now without very, very important players.
So, you know, crowd, I will quote him.
I know, that's exactly what's going to happen on our Liverpool match.
Surprisingly,
yeah,
Mourinho a good fellow.
Yeah, on test still.
Metimbe, on now testing Mrs. here, Metimbe.
Near machine,
and our good fellows here and Cobet. And I'm so per bet in the Ampel card. It's a kind of semi.
And my home.
Semi.
Now you go for number 6.
What you have to say, the end family.
They were seeing the car.
So, a bear man, so bear man or Becobeta on fan camera.
Oh, that's really any car. Really any car, some see. I was even born a bomb, better young Bayern for Canabra. Now, the men are also ultra black. The men are all buying. Oh, be me, I dare ready be ampe. Ah, oh, me be a dear could be a manager home. I was a guy now. A guy? Okay. A guy, so a drobia. And also correct. Papa. And where be now? And to me, the idea could be a good fellow. So also as you bupa when you on a video as a cash. I see any risk. I see it's Casa President. What for a guy would publish your match. Now won't you bet? No, yeah, they got you to was here. So, oh, Bema, for Canada to so. Me, PM the other father, Marcus. Rich was already the quotes. These are them. Or I will show YouTube a bit. Me take a screenshot, but who already so I remember boss so quickly amount a BW 11E37873. Second one a BW 11E35FDD, and the last one a BW 11E34316. Which all of social media Fiifi Manfred Okwabinya and now yes answer we here. So like we do every day you are winning. You're sure saying so in those schools we'll get a win over there. But that's it. Okay, Kofi, yeah, so yeah, that's it for encouragement.